Hey y'all, another notebook review for you today. This is the Leuchtturm1917 Medium A5 notebook. Did I get it? I got it. Sometimes rattling off these long names is hard for me. So I picked this up at Barnes & Noble like a year and a half-ish ago. Well, maybe longer. Anyway, they had it on sale for like $11. Usually these are closer to $20. So I thought, hey, why not? I know that these are kind of popular in the fountain pen community, so decided to give it a try. And I did a test in the very back of the book and was pretty quickly disappointed. I, at the time, was using Noodler's 54th Massachusetts a lot, which is kind of a temperamental ink. Cool ink, but it's kind of, I don't know, hit and miss for me whether or not I like using it, but got a lot of bleed through, as you can see there, and it was on a fine pen. I'm not a broad pen person at all. I pretty much just stick with fines and maybe a medium here, extra fine there, but fine is usually where I go. So I was kind of disappointed. So instead of keeping it for my writing notebooks that I use to write poetry and all that kind of stuff, where I'm using all kinds of pens and all kinds of inks, I decided to just hang on to this for journaling purposes and where maybe I'm not going to be as focused on having fun with crazy inks and stuff like that. So my wife and I have been using this for a joint journal. We've been doing that since we got married. Almost every single day we've written something, both of us, in our journal. This is volume 4 or 5. We've been married for 6 years, and yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool to be able to look back on pretty much any day and see what we were doing. Just little snippets, just a few lines or whatever. But anyway, we've been using this for about a year and a half. So along with showing you some of the pros and cons, things I like and don't like about this notebook, I want to show you how it's held up, because a year and a half is kind of a long time to use a notebook. So and it's to the point where some notebooks might start to break down a little bit. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at how it's held up. But first, let's talk about some of the features of this notebook. In many ways, it's your standard A4 notebook. It's got your elastic thing. It's a hardcover. It's got your typical pocket in the back. Ribbon bookmark. It actually came with 2 bookmarks. But my toddler pulled one of them out. So I don't know what that says about the durability of this, but toddlers can be pretty rough on stuff, so I wouldn't judge this too harshly. It has 249 80-gram pages. This is a lined one, and it is 6mm ruling, so fairly narrow. I'm used to using 8mm. And Rodeo Web notebooks are 7mm, so this is 6. It's pretty narrow, which is good if you like writing small. You can conserve a lot of space. There's places for the date up at the top, and there are page numbers, which I think is pretty cool. I number the pages of my journals, so it's cool that it just has that already there. It also comes with a sticker sheet for labeling your journals. I don't know if I'm going to use this or not, because I'm probably not going to have a million of these, but I guess you could take one of these rectangle ones and put it on the front and put the date and what you used it for, and you can take one of these long, narrow ones and stick it on the spine, which it's a cool idea. If you like these and plan on using them for a long time, then it's a nice way to keep them organized, because I know for me, I've got a lot of different notebooks that are full, and it's kind of hard to keep them organized sometimes. So it's a cool thing. So lots of bells and whistles for this, which is cool. It makes it really competitive for its price range, because there's a lot of notebooks in this price range, and it has more features than any of the ones I've seen. That's going to segue us right into the pros of this notebook. It comes in lots of colors, which is pretty cool. I like this color I chose. I don't remember the specific name of this color, but it's some kind of turquoisey, blue-green kind of color. And it comes with lots of pages. What did I say? 249 pages, which I think that's the same as Moleskine. This is also about the same price as a Moleskine, but this is much, much better. But yeah, so a lot of pages, more than a Rhodia web notebook or a Clairefontaine kind of notebook. But the paper is different, and that's where we get into kind of the cons for me. I don't like the paper as much. As you saw before, there was some bleed through. I almost never get bleed through when I'm using Clairefontaine paper, which is pretty much exclusively what I use. I'm open to branching out and trying different things. If you have things that you think are as good or better than Clairefontaine, I would love if you would leave a comment telling me what you use, because I would love to try it. I'm always wanting to try new notebooks, but so far Clairefontaine and Rhodia, I like Rhodia a lot too. So, but to me, those are better than this is. This feels like if you were to put Clairefontaine and Rhodia on one side and Moleskine on the other side, this would be somewhere in the middle. It's good. I think it's good for the money, but it's not as suitable for fountain pens as some of the nicer, like 90-gram satin finish paper that you get with Clairefontaine and stuff like that. I have gotten used to it over time. I don't dislike it as much as I used to at first when I was using it. I've gotten used to some of the ghosting and stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. You just kind of have to decide what you like. If you're going to be using ballpoints and roller balls or pencils or whatever, like, this is awesome. I mean, I would look no further than this. But if you've got your, double broad fountain pen or whatever that's super juicy, this is probably not going to work. But if you use fine and maybe some medium fountain pens, and you have some pretty well-behaved inks that don't typically bleed, then this will be fine. It's just not as pleasant of an experience, I think, as some nicer paper out there. But again, you do get more paper for your money. So like a Rhodia web notebook costs about the same as this. And there are things I like better about that notebook, including the cover, but you get a lot less pages. I think it's 192. So I don't know. You win some, you lose some. So let's talk about the longevity really quick. Like I said, we've been using this for a long time, almost a year and a half. I usually go through a notebook in 6 months. But since this is a different kind of writing project and we're trying to write in small bits every day, it's lasted us a really long time. We still have a third quarter of the way to go. And so this is probably gonna last us for 2 years. I have had other notebooks that I've used for a long time, like Moleskine. Baron Fig is another one. I do like Baron Fig, but Moleskine and Baron Fig, I had spines break on me after I'd used them for a long time. They started to crack and kind of fall apart. This one, the spine is completely intact. It's great. I don't really have any worries about the spine. And that's from traveling with this and using it like literally every single day. So this has seen a lot of use. The cover wear, there is some. I mean, on the corners, notebooks in general, if I can get this to focus, it's going to be stubborn. Can't really see it, but the corners in general on notebooks start to wear out first. And there's some scuffing, but it's honestly not bad. It looks really good. There's some wrinkling, some warping along kind of that outer surface of the cover, but I don't think that's a big deal, really. Like I said, one of the ribbons got pulled out, but that was a toddler, so I mean, as long as you're not yanking on your ribbon, you're not going to lose it. It's fine. So as far as longevity goes, this thing is kind of amazing, honestly. They're very well constructed. My only complaint really is the paper. It's just not my favorite paper. It's good paper, but it's not as good as other things I've used. But I do appreciate that it gives you a lot of paper. And I think that is, you just have to decide which you prefer. Because if you were to try to put 249 pages of Clairefontaine in this, it would probably be much thicker and just kind of unwieldy. So I get why they did it the way they did. So overall, it's a good product. It's good for the price. You just have to decide if it's going to work for the ink and the pens that you're using. And that's pretty much it. Also, I mentioned like the bells and whistles, like all the, page numbers and the dates, all the stuff that they have in here. Like I said, I like that there are page numbers, but I don't like that every single page has date at the top. Like, do people really just like put the date at the top of the page and then like write a half-page journal entry and then just like come over to the next page and just like leave all this emptiness. Like that just seems like a waste. So I completely disregard this. It's just kind of annoying to have it up there. So if you like the format of the pre-printed stuff they have in here, then that's great. But I don't like all of it. And so that's kind of the other con for me. But again, overall, it's a nice notebook. So if you like the way that they are presenting this, I think you'll enjoy it. But that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye.